It's the Hot Rod Podcast with Ron Foreman and Brady Wright. We literally live, eat, and breathe cars. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today. Make sure that you hit the subscribe and the like button, mash the notifications on so that you'll know every time we put a new show together and bring it to you here on YouTube. Time to get going. Let's see what's happening this week.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing, Brady?
I'm doing good, man. So
Awesome.
we're finally getting some spring. It's nice to have a little bit of sunshine and something that's not frozen coming out of the sky. But
Oh, it's 69 today here.
it was cool, and we had just about 80. 80.
Wow.
I don't know what to do with that. But,
Awesome.
yeah, so we got a cool guest tonight. We've got the owner and publisher of Rat Rod Magazine, Jerry Ripley, is going to be with us tonight.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's really cool. He and his wife
Congratulations.
did some amazing things to get that thing back online and publishing now. So
I am humbled by his presence.
well, we're gonna find out. He's pretty
That's
humble
right.
guy, but yeah. So we're gonna talk with him, and then we'll come back afterwards to see how that worked.
Cool.
Cool.
The Hot Rod Podcast is sponsored by the Idaho Hot Rod Hall of Fame, a nonprofit organization that recognizes and rewards men and women who actively promote the hot rod community, clubs, and builders all over the state of Idaho. Every year we award a Hot Rodder of the Year, a Club of the Year, and a Young Rodder of the Year, as well as giving out scholarship money to students in the auto trades programs at local colleges. If you want to know more, or if you want to nominate an honoree, go to idahof.org or email us at idahof@gmail.com. That's Idahof, IDAHHOF.org, or again, idahof@gmail.com.
As mentioned before, our guest this week is Jerry Ripley, owner, operator, head cook, bottle chief, bottle washer of Rat Rod Magazine. Strangely enough, we're all decked out for Rat Rod Magazine. And welcome to the show, Jerry. I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah, Ron and I have been talking
Thank
about
you
this
so
for
much.
a while because Ron has heard my story, but I'll share it with you just real quick. I've been a fan of this magazine since the first issue. I picked it up on the newsstand when back when you're still publishing on the newsstands,
Mhm.
and I know there's more information about that, but we'll save that for a second. And it immediately grabbed me. It was immediately the kind of thing that I wanted to do, and I read Tommy Lee Ring's column in there about how you could build a rat rod, for $1,500. He failed to mention in there, by the way, that meant if you had a full shop and all the tools.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But Tommy has been a lot of
Right.
help to me. My project's coming along
Exactly.
great. And
That's
and
good,
I,
man.
it's because of you guys and Tommy that that we're doing this thing now, and it's grown pretty significantly since then. So just face to face up front, I just want to say thanks for a great magazine and a great column.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to us.
So, Ron and I got lots of questions for you. I know, but I think so that everybody gets kind of clear what we're doing here. Tell us how the magazine got started. What was the germination of that idea, and what made it happen in the first place? Because it seems like it should have been, kind of a gimme, but I'll bet you it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It actually got started back, I believe it was 2009. Steve Thamrick just had an idea. He was seeing these cars and thought, man, these things are amazing. They're really affordable. And, there's nothing at the time. Rat rods were real taboo.
Yep.
Hot rod and Carcraft and all them. They didn't want any part of rat rods.
Yeah.
In fact,
Nope.
there were a lot of shows back then,
Yes.
car shows that wouldn't let them in.
Yeah.
They didn't even want
Right.
rat rods in the shows. And Steve just put the balls to the wall and really ground out this magazine. And he started it from literally nothing. Nobody had ever most people never even heard of rat rods back then.
Yeah.
And Minnesota's kind of which is where Steve's at, that's kind of the rat rod capital of the world. There's tons of rat rods there. And he started this magazine up and it just blew up. I mean, it blew up. And within a couple of years, he
Absolutely.
had publishers reaching out to him and got it on the newsstand, which was unheard of. And then things started changing in the car scene. And all of a sudden, rat rods were becoming acceptable. And then later on, not just acceptable, but they started becoming the most popular things at the shows. I mean, they were taken away from all the other cars. Everybody was going to check them out because they're affordable and they're really cool.
Well, plus each one of them is so individualized. I mean, that's the thing that drew me. It's not nothing against people with tri-fives or 56 Ford Vickies or something like that. But you know
No.
what? A 57 Chevy is a 57 Chevy, and you can do stuff to it, but people like to keep them kind of the way they are. But
Yeah.
every rat rod is different.
Yep.
It's a piece of the individual mind of whoever built it.
Well, that's because
Yeah,
every person that has a rat rod or has a hot rod that builds their own car is a reflection of the artist that built it. And each
yeah,
car owner that builds a rat rod is a reflection of what they have and their dream that they would like to have.
yeah,
And
exactly.
not because of money, because of what they can afford. And
Yeah,
it's awesome. You got hot, cold water spigots that on the cars. The
Oh
different
yeah.
kinds of things that just makes things individual expressions of each person that owns the car. It's
well, sure.
art.
And beside
I,
I mean, the motto, if you will, the tagline of the Rad Bastards Car Club is not what you buy, it's what you build.
It's what you build.
exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just no more clear than that. It's so perfect. And I love going to car shows. I mean, I've been going to car shows since I was 12. That was when cars were still powered by coal, by the way. But we would always go and see every. Ron's heard all my jokes. None of these are new. I gotta
Uh-huh.
get a laugh out of you because he knows them all. But
Well, not everyone's heard them though.
well,
Uh,
at some far corner of the universe, probably. But yeah, so you go to a car show and you see one or two rat rods, and there was always the biggest crowd around them because they're arresting, they're visually stimulating. There's something that people know you're not going to see one of those. And even something as silly as an overflow bottle, made out of a who knows what, a flower pot. I mean, some silly stuff like that.
Yeah.
But nobody else was doing it, and
No.
it draws attention. And
Yeah.
right back to what Ron says, it's an expression of the individual artist. I mean, there's no two of them the
That's
same.
correct.
That's the beauty of them.
Yeah. I don't think there's any other genre in the automotive scene where people honor the history of the car more than the rat rodders. I mean, they take cars that should be in a scrapyard, they salvage them, they bring them back to even really cooler than what they were,
Yeah.
and they're real big. They honor the history of that car.
So
Well,
once,
they are the pieces and parts and pieces of someone who built a street rod that they left in the backyard that they didn't think it was good enough for their car. That
Right.
someone come along and said, you know what, I can use that and build my own car out of the stuff that
sure,
you throw away. And
sure.
they build it and they make it their own, and it's more valuable, more personable to each person who builds that car
You
than
bet.
anyone else. That's why it says. It's not what it's. I didn't build it for you. I build it for me.
Yeah. No rules, no apologies. That's been
That's
the
right.
motto of the magazine.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So Jerry, I wanted to ask you. I mean, when the magazine got published and it started making some inroads circulation wise, it was a really nice format magazine, a little larger than standard, high clay content in the paper. I mean, it was a real
Absolutely.
nicely done piece of work, and it was getting bigger and bigger on the newsstands. People were the circulation, I'm sure, was
Yep.
growing, and then there was a point where stuff started to slow down, and I kind of like to know how that all came to pieces.
Well, the newsstand took a dive in
Yeah.
2019, and the big
COVID.
distributors such as Walmart, Barnes and Noble, they started chopping titles.
Ah,
And in the magazine world, you live and die by Walmart and Barnes and Noble. If
yeah,
you don't have them, you don't exist on the newsstand.
That's right.
And I mean, there were tons. Trucking magazine, a lot of the motorcycle magazines got chopped.
yeah.
It was really sad to see. I think if I remember right, there was 20 some odd titles in total that got chopped. And
Not to
it
not
was-
to
it
mention
was
names, but car culture and what was the other one? Car culture deluxe, and they had another one that got cut as well.
yeah,
Old,
and
old
it's
school
sad
something. I can't remember
because
the
Old
name.
school rods.
Yeah.
Yeah. and all good magazines and all had their place. It's sad, it really was. And unfortunately, Rat Rod Magazine was one of them that got chopped. And they tried to hold on to it. They tried their best to salvage it, and they just, without the publisher, the debt that was there, they just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
And it folded. It went out of business.
and it's
When I started seeing Hondas and Toyotas and Hot Rod magazine, I knew it was the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's about the
gosh.
times.
Well, when the magazine stopped being published, I know there was some period of time of adjustment and everything like that. And then pretty soon I started seeing, I mean, you had a Facebook page, I think, at that same
Yep.
time. At least there was an online presence. And
Yes.
then all of a sudden I started seeing, well, we're going to publish online and you guys can order them if you wanted to. And for me, that was like, oh my God, I can still get this magazine. This is great
Yeah,
because it's a
excellent.
source of
Yes.
inspiration, you know. And several of our friends have had cars in the magazine. Chance Eberly and Rat Rod Richardson and some of those
Oh, yeah.
guys, you know, and Steve Darnell, of course, you know, a lot of his stuff has been
Of
there.
course.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we see it's fun to see our friends' stuff, but Steve Tate, I know he was in the magazine,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know, those guys have been on the show, and I live about 10 miles from Rod Richardson. He brings Mad Max down to my house, you know, so I mean, we see him all.
Right.
And the guys, the RSC guys, the Rat Shit Crazy guys, they're
Yeah.
within 20 miles of my place, and a lot of them are close to Ron too. So I mean, these guys
Yep.
are all our brothers. So
Right.
to have them continue to have an outlet, you know, like the magazine, it's pretty special, and people really
Yeah.
really appreciate what you're doing. So
Well,
I wanted to ask what's like kind of coming up. I mean, I know you're publishing online. I buy one every month. You know, I
thank
got,
you.
but yeah, you're not going to survive on my income, but you know, you at least it keeps you
Everyone
going.
counts, man.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
What do you got in the back of your head? Are you going to push for circulation again, or I mean, is the market not quite up there, or what's happening?
Right now, the market on the newsstand just isn't there. They're actually still cutting titles. You're going to see here
Yeah.
in the probably next year, sadly, a few more go.
Yeah.
It's just economic times. We're very, very lucky. When Tracy and I bought this magazine and we brought it back, we met with Steve trying to figure out a way we can do it. This was the best option we had, and we were really, really lucky that the Rat Rock community loves this magazine the way they do. Otherwise, we
Excellent.
wouldn't have a chance. The
Absolutely.
next thing that Tracy and I are working on is, well, we've relaunched the tour, the Rat Rod Tour.
Right.
That's coming back this year. We've started an all event called Rat Stock, which is where the tour will end this year.
I was going to
Which-
ask.
I love that name, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And
Awesome.
if we're working on it, we're finding it a challenge to find the actual time to devote to it with the tour getting so big, is the magazine's a really cool extension of the Rat Rod community, but some of these guys that we've met that are doing such outstanding stuff with these cars and the contributions they've made to the community and the Rat Rod culture, we think they
Yes,
deserve
sir.
something a little bit more. So Tracy and I are actually working on starting the Rat Rod Hall of Fame.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
And it's not the Rat Rod Magazine Hall of Fame. This will be an official Rat Rod Hall of Fame.
That's
And,
really cool.
That is
yeah,
awesome.
It'll be.
I hereby offer this. You don't know. I founded the Idaho State Hot Rod Hall of Fame here when I moved to Idaho.
Nice.
And if there's anything that that I can do to help you with that Hall of Fame project that you're putting together,
Mhm.
call me, text me, whatever you need. I'll give you whatever help.
Oh, you count on that.
I'm also going to offer the podcast here. If you guys need, airworks of any kind of stuff, you want promotion, you want any kind of stuff, get with me, because this sounds something that's right up my alley. I would love to help, and the show hereby offers you support.
You bet we will.
Hot
We really
Rodorama.
appreciate that.
Hot Rodorama in
Hot
Tacoma.
Rodorama, that was
Swiss
yeah.
That's
Oh,
correct.
okay.
So when that died, Rat Masters picked it up at the infestation of the Triple X Root Beer Drive, and it just freaking blew up. And we just kept it going, and we had over 200 cars at either one of our car shows that used to go to the Hot Rodorama at the Triple X Root Beer Drive-In.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a good show, and it's gotten bigger every year. In fact,
I need to check that out.
Yeah, the club has
Check
put
it out.
together. The infestation continues. In fact, I think, Ron, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the infestation is the largest or the longest held rat rods focused car show in the Northwest. I mean, I don't think there's been
That's
one.
correct. That's
Yeah,
correct. We're going to
ever.
be in Cedar Woolley at the Riverfront Park
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I-
We're
cool.
moving on. We're growing leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Can I
That's
tell you
really
Ron's philosophy of a car show? This is a simple thing, and he probably won't tell you this, but I will. The Bastards and Ron have always been about charity, supporting a charity wherever it is, whether it's Rats for
Correct.
Autism or you name it, any of that. And I've heard him say this, so he won't, get upset. I'm saying telling out of school, but he's famous for saying, "Look, your charity needs some money. Tell you what, I'll put on a car show and we'll give you all the money." And
Exactly.
he's done this for 15 years,
Love that.
and people know it. They know that the Rat Bastards can step up when it comes to that kind of stuff. And
Uh-huh.
I mean, I liked it so much. I used to live over near Ron. I was there for most of my life. And when my wife and I decided to move to Idaho, I asked him, I was a member of the club then. I asked him if I could charter a chapter over here. And he said, yeah. So that
Heck
was
yeah.
Rat Bastards Idaho. And I have nothing but time to do this stuff. Is that Tracy in the background there?
It is. You caught her.
Ah,
Hi,
see,
Tracy. Haha.
this is
Come
the
on
Tracy.
in, girl.
Trying to sneak around.
There
She
you
just
are.
got
This is
All
the
off
Tracy
right.
we're talking about. Thank you for helping Jerry put this together. I know he couldn't have done it
Welcome.
without you.
Oh, I could not do it without her. There's no doubt.
There's no way I can do it without
Yeah.
Marcia.
No.
She's the nuts and bolts of our car shows. Marcia's
Yeah,
awesome.
Plus, she can tell you when
People
the
wouldn't
camera's not
believe
working
what
on
all
your
this
set.
girl does.
I'm gonna go work.
Okay. See you later.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
That's okay. That's okay. Go take care of
I'm
Pretzel.
definitely not wearing my Rat Rod shirt like everybody else.
Oh no.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm glad we got a chance to see you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for doing
Awesome.
this too, by the way.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
So long.
Bye.
Target of opportunity, Jerry. She was just there.
I get it. I totally get it. I was going to get her in there somehow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're kind of winding down. We got about 8 minutes left on the show, and I just wanted to make sure that we covered the things that you've got coming up. Now, I know you want to talk about this this Hall of Fame thing. Your target date for kind of starting this is coming up when?
November, I believe, is when we're
Okay.
hoping we can do it.
Okay.
Don't hold me to it. We're trying everything we can. It's
Well, that
hard
works
to do
out
everything.
because of the car scene's kind of winding down in those months.
Yes.
So that
Yeah.
would probably work out for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although
Yep.
Minnesota in November.
Yep. You're right. I
mean,
know.
I live in North Idaho. It's kind of Minnesota light. Believe me, we just finished a 5-month winter over here, so
Minnesota's
there with you.
rough, man. It's rough.
Well, that's all right. That'll be
Yeah.
great. Well, listen, the Hall of Fame website here is Idaho, IDAHHOF, Idaho Hot Rod Hall of Fame.org. If you want to pirate some information off of there or just get some ideas, please feel free, go there, and if anything on there will help you,
Hey, we will reach out. That's for sure.
do that for sure.
Appreciate it, man.
It's
Same with
it's all
the
community
Rat
effort.
Bastards.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's all the help we can get. That's for sure.
Well, if we can do anything long distance, we're you guys. So just let us know.
Cool. You got it.
So what do you got as a personal project coming up? Anything exciting?
Personal project. Well, Tracy's having her own rat rod built right now. In fact,
Oh,
Chance
nice.
Everly's doing it.
Okay.
Cool.
And
So
that's
Chance is
the
doing
rat
it?
rod promotional truck.
So Chance is doing it?
Chance is doing it, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, then it'll be done right. I
Can't wait to
Oh,
see
yeah.
some pictures of that.
Yeah.
Oh, there'll definitely be pictures out there.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Chance, boy, he's got projects coming out his ears.
He does, man.
Man, I'm glad you snagged him because yeah, it'll be a good one. We expect a full photo spread of this.
Oh, you'll get it for sure.
Good
For
enough.
sure.
I'd like to extend a special thank you for Gary for being on our show. I really appreciate you being on. It means a lot to us. Thank you so
It's
much.
been an honor. We're all in this together. We got the same goal.
Yeah, we do.
It's not what you buy, or what you buy, but it's what you dream, and it's what your heart's desire.
You
Yeah,
bet.
you got it. Well, listen, we're gonna blow out of here. I really appreciate your time. I know it's late there where you are, but this show will probably be up in a couple of days, and we'll send you links to everything.
Sounds
Thank you
great. I
very much.
appreciate it.
All right, Jerry Ripley, Rat Rod Magazine. That's going to do it for this episode. We will be back in just a moment.
You're into cars. You love a good time and you'd rather build it than buy it. You just might love the Rat Bastards. We're a family-oriented nonprofit organization. We welcome all 1969 and older, in the rough is enough, real steel and iron. We're about old school traditional hot rods and rat rods. We get together, have fun, help each other build, and cruise like crazy because that's the way car clubs are supposed to be. The Rat Bastards are a new class of old school, and our signature event is the Infestation Show every July. Check our Facebook page for location, time, and dates. We're charter sponsors of the Idaho Hot Rod Hall of Fame and the Hot Rod Podcast. Join us at cruise-ins all over Washington and Idaho. Joining the club is easy. By the way, contact us through the club page for Washington or Idaho. Check us out on the Rat Bastards Car Club pages on Facebook. We'll see you on the road.
That was pretty cool.
That was.
And it was cool to get to see his wife Tracy. She's the
Oh
other.
man,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Got
I
to be
don't know
feather in his cap. Feather in his cap.
I don't know if you noticed in the background there, but walking around behind him some of the time on the show there, it was his beagle Pretzel.
Yep, I saw him.
Pretzel back there. But
What a cutie.
yeah, so I'm really excited about the fact that the Rat Rod Hall of Fame may come to fruition, and we offered him whatever help we can, but
Absolutely.
yeah, I guess he and some of the guys from the magazine are coming this direction because Chance Eberly, who's one of our
Right.
friends,
Right.
Chance is building Tracy's car, her Rat Rod.
That's cool.
Come over to get it. I think we ought to arrange to everybody be here that weekend. You know what I mean?
Well, but maybe we should book a flight and head over there in November when they have their meeting, when they have their Rat Rod Hall of Fame.
Maybe, yeah, that could be a thing.
That would be kind of cool.
We'll work that out. We'll see if we can do that. Although,
We'll figure that out.
Minnesota
We'll let everyone know if they want to go too.
That's right. Yeah, just a small crowd. Small crowd.
Heck yeah.
That'd be good. Hey, man, it's always good to see you. Always good to talk with you.
You too, sir.
We got another killer show coming up next week, so we'll wait and see what happens with that one.
That's it for this episode of the Hot Rod Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to our show, and we appreciate it if you smash those notification buttons too, so you'll know when a new one drops. For Ron Foreman, I'm Brady Wright. This has been the Hot Rod Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.